Greetings everyone, Ray Landis here, and I am going to take a little time today and share with you what has happened and is happening to my Firefly Mad Cat. I did a review on this guitar a while ago, and it was basically from the first time I received it until I got it playing well, and I've had it now for about a year. Had to do quite a few adjustments to it when I first got it, but it was all okay. It just had some things that were like out of sorts. In fact, it couldn't be played, especially until I did a truss rod adjustment. Now, this neck has remained a very good neck, and it has, shown to be stable, and it's needed some seasonal adjustments from just being, exposed to different humidities in here in my office. I live in Vermont, and the climate is it's very different season to season. So I have had to make some adjustments, but it's not been a problem because this guitar really does it takes adjustments well, and the truss rod works really well on this guitar. I have noticed, if you can tell, that this truss rod access point, if you can see that, let me see if I can shine some light on that. See if I You can see that it has a little bit of chipping that's taken place around that access point, and it's just kind of brittle around that access point, and it's showing some wear because I've had to go in there 2 or 3 times. And at first I thought maybe it was a real insert, like the walnut insert, and then I thought, no, it's fake because it looks like it's discolored where it's chipped. And then I kind of went in there with a pick and on the inside to see what was behind the back of it, and it does appear to be a real insert. So where that little bit of chipping is, I'm debating whether I want to try to create some sort of a truss cover, or maybe just take a Sharpie marker and just kind of touch it up a little bit, because it's kind of black, and a black Sharpie could fix that up. But other than that, the neck itself has been flawless. It's got really nice polyurethane coating on it, and it's a nice neck. Yeah, I believe it's a Fender Tele standard, spec, but I haven't tried to use it on any other guitars. You can see it's got the stainless steel ball end frets, which I think are really nice. I think all guitars should have these. Um, I am going to be doing some upgrades to it, and I said I wouldn't. I've got it all apart, obviously, and when I took it apart, I went ahead and coated the inside of the routing areas there with some StuMac shielding paint. And this is the conductive paint that I got from StuMac, and it's a simple way to get the inside coated with conductive shielding, and it's an upgrade. But I think the reason why I really wanted to upgrade this guitar is because I found, after playing it for a while and comparing it to other guitars, that the pickups were kind of weak. And I did some testing on the pickups. These pickups are the original pickups that were in the guitar when I got it, and they look like Stratocaster pickups. And this is a polarity tester, and basically you can tell if they've got the same polarity. Now, black indicates that it's a south pole, and this is also black, so they're not reverse wound. If you go to the back, you can see it turns to white. Same thing over here, but when you go to the top, it's black. So south pole up, and these are not reverse wound, reverse polarity. So I ordered from Guitar Madness. These are called S90s. They are P90 pickups in an a P90 pickup in a single coil format. So you can see that one is south up. This is the middle. This is north up. And of course, I'm not going to use all three because there's not a space for them. But this one is also south up. This would have been the neck pickup. I'm not going to use that. I'm going to go ahead and put the middle pickup in the neck position, and I'm going to put the bridge pickup, where it belongs. So I know for sure that these are going to be reverse wound, reverse polarity, and I'll get the noise canceling, because what I noticed about these is that they sounded good, but the problem was they always had 60 cycle hum no matter what selection I had on the selector switch. So when they were combined in the middle position, there was still 60 cycle hum because they weren't noise canceling. These, I'm hoping, are going to give me a nicer sound as well as be noise canceling. And I found that these original pickups, they sounded good, but the problem, I think, was that they're just a little weak. Now, if you look at the pickup, individually by itself, the neck pickup was I marked it as a 6.19 resistance, and then the bridge pickup was a 7.25. So they pretty much are good resistance for what we're using them for. But I think these are going to be really nice. I believe these are somewhere in the 6-7 category. I'll check them to see what I'm dealing with. But I'm going to put these in and put the guitar back together, and maybe I'll take this neck and create a nice truss rod cover out of maybe an acoustic guitar pick guard, one of those pick guards that are real super flexible and have like an adhesive on the back. And if I cut it just right, I might be able to put like 1 or 2 screws in it and make it look really sharp, and we'll see how that goes. But it doesn't look too bad. I think I'm gonna maybe leave it alone, but then again, I may go ahead and put some kind of a cover over that. But other than that, I'm going to put the guitar back together the way it was, and it's going to be, I'm sure it's going to be a lot better. It's going to sound a lot better. But that is definitely a nice neck. Okay, so I'm going to test these pickups again, and so this pickup here is going to be, it's going to be the neck pickup, and you can see it's white, which is a north pole up. And then if you bring it over here, this one shows a south pole up. And I have the one we're going to use for the bridge pickup connected to my meter. And I'm going to go ahead and see what we're looking at here as far as resistance. Okay, it's showing 5.43. Alright, so I'm going to connect the other one, see what that looks like. Alright, so now I've got the middle of the 3 pickup set, which is going to be the one that goes in the neck position, and it's showing 5.53. So they're very vintage in their in their resistance. They're very vintage, power wise, but being a P90 with this different magnet, these are Alnico 5 magnets, but they're bar magnets, and then there's adjustable pole pieces that go with them. So this is the first time I've ever used these pickups. You can see they've got the screws that can be adjusted for pole piece height. So if I need a staggered pole piece configuration, I can do that. But these are going to be very vintage sounding, and I think it's going to sound really great. So I'm looking forward to putting these in. So here I've got kind of a dry fit. Got a lot of glare. Sorry about that. Kind of a dry fit. These pickups are going to fit in a perfect configuration. They're not going to be any different than a regular single coil size pickup. Then I want to just show you this. Originally, but this control plate used to have one of those switches that were kind of like this configuration, like a wafer board. I have it marked 3-way Mad Cat. I took that out, and then I put in a nice switch and did some wiring there. Kept everything else intact because it had full-size pots, and it looked like it had a good capacitor in there, and everything else seemed to be connected well. So I'm going to put this in there along with these pickups and get everything all buttoned up, and we'll take a look at it as soon as we're done that part. Alright, this went back together so nice, and those pickups, even being what they call S90s, perfectly fit, easy install. Just got to connect the wires, and I'm going to try some quick connect things that I have that may reduce my need to do any soldering. So we'll see if that stuff will fit inside the cavity. I've got these little clips. I'll show you what they look like. Alright, so I wanted to show you these quick connect things that I've got. They basically, you pinch them, the wire goes in, they hold the wire. I've got a whole bag of them that I've used on some guitars before. However, the only concern I have here is that as many as I would need, these wires being more abundant and the cavity being a little smaller, whether they will all fit in. But basically, you just take these, you pinch them, and they open up, and you put the wire in there, and you let it go, and that actually creates a great, you can't really pull that off of there, and it really does create a good connection. So I've tried these before, they work, so we're going to give it a try, see if I can fit as many as I need in there and get this guitar all buttoned up. Okay, as it turns out, I only need 4 of these, and I've used my tester, and all the connections seem to be good. And I've got these 2 wires here, which are going to be soldered to the switch. And I will do that and then button everything up, make sure we're all connected, and test everything out, and then get this all put back together. Okay, I've got this thing all buttoned up, and the only thing I'll probably have to do once I get the neck back on and get it all strung up is maybe adjust the height of the pickups, but everything fit really, really nice. The quick connects worked great. I still had to make a couple solder connections, but right now I've got the tone all the way up and the volume all the way up, and I've got it in the neck position on the switch, and it's showing resistance of 5.43. So I'm going to go ahead and flip that over now to the bridge pickup, and it's showing 5.34. Kind of out of order. I think the bridge pickup is supposed to be a little hotter, but I don't know what that's going to do. We could, we could try it out. I think it's going to be okay. So 5.43 in the neck, and then 5.34 at the bridge, and then in the middle it is noise canceling. I tried it out already. 2.72. So I'm wondering how this is going to sound. I'm sure it's going to sound great, but I'm with great anticipation looking forward to getting it all back together. So hopefully you'll stay tuned and you'll see the final product. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the channel, like, comment, and share, and I will see you next time for the next guitar adventure. Take care.